There's discussions about the pandemic accord. The Biden administration is looking to give the World Health Organization powers over different nations to declare pandemics and recommend policies on how to address the pandemics. This means that the World Health Organization, which cannot demonstrate its independence from the CCP, is going to be given control over policies to an extent of different countries in the world, including right here in the United States. And that means, by extension, the Chinese Communist Party, given the fact that the World Health Organization could not show its independence from it, the Chinese Communist Party is going to be able to dictate public policy in other countries, including in America. And one important thing with this is they're saying it's about public health incidents, public health crises. Folks, public health has been redefined, and they're acknowledging this now. Public health is race relations. Public health is gun violence. Public health is hate speech. Public health is trans access. Public health is abortion. Public health is every single thing that affects your life or my life. Public health has been expanded to global warming. Public health is expanded to schools, to equity, to socialism. Public health is everything, because they're saying everything is a threat to your health, to your well-being in one way or another. And this means the World Health Organization is going to have some degree of control over all these things. They're saying gun violence in America is a public health crisis. What's going to happen when the CCP has the potential to manage gun policy in America, right? Let me show you this. It says U.S. committed to WHO pandemic accord, according to an ambassador. The Biden administration is committed to this. This is not going to be like the U.S. government decides not to sign on to it. The Biden administration is helping lead this initiative. It says the lead negotiator representing the United States in discussion on a global pandemic accord said in a statement this week that the United States is committed to the accord amid debate on the draft document. Leaders are meeting this week in Geneva as part of the fourth meeting of the Intergovernmental Negotiating Bureau to consider a zero draft of agreement. The INB, the Intergovernmental Negotiating Bureau, was set up by the World Health Assembly in December of 2021 to, quote, draft and negotiate a convention agreement or other international instrument under the Constitution of the World Health Organization to strengthen pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. The first draft was released this month and is being debated during this week's meeting and will be continuing in April. The INB will issue a report on the development of the accord at the WHA, the World Health Assembly, in May, with a final report expected in 2024. So it's a bit a ways off still. It says on the agenda this week is to decide whether the draft will be the basis of negotiations for a pandemic accord and discuss the document in depth. The U.S. pandemic negotiator for the proposed accord, Ambassador Pamela Hamamoto, said this week that the United States is committed to forming the accord as part of a major component of the global health architecture for generations to come. And further in its states, she added the United States would like to see a focus on equity. You hear me right, folks? World Health Organization pandemics, and they're talking about equity. Equality of outcome, socialism. Because they're saying the lack of socialism, apparently, is a public health crisis. The United States would like to see a focus on equity across the draft, to be, quote, inclusive and applicable for the improved health and well-being of all people, not only between countries, but also, quote, within them. And, quote, not just protecting populations from pandemics. And this is a direct quote. This is what they actually state. Not just protecting populations from pandemics, but also from illness, death, and disrupted access to essential healthcare services during pandemics, including sexual and reproductive health. She said in a February 27th letter. Now, there are many things that could lead to death, illness, disrupted access to healthcare. Again, folks, cars, gas, pollution, gas stoves, guns, racial violence, lack of inclusiveness, trans risk of suicide, which is why they want to have kids be able to get it without talking to their parents. Yeah, and reproductive health services, i.e., abortion. The list goes on and on and on of all the things this could and very likely will encompass. This is not just about viruses, which is the way, even that would be a big deal. This is not just about viruses. This is every single thing that they claim affects public health. And they've broadened the debate on public health so much that it includes just about anything. Anything that global warming, what do they call it now? Climate change touches. Right, we're supposed to be underwater by now. Remember that. Anything that climate change touches, anything that impacts public health, anything within the Agenda 2030 initiative of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, anything it touches, food access, education, anything, they could say affects your health. And they want to have equity as something that is throughout this entire thing. Equity is just a big fancy way of saying socialism. Equality of outcome. No matter the effort you put in, you get the same results in the end, or they're doing it based on race.